Hi, welcome to the Arlington Seventh-day Adventist Church. This is Arlington Life Live, and we are just happy to be here. My name is Heidi Jackson, and I am the community outreach pastor here at the church. And I have brought my twin sister, Kathy.
Hello.
We are twins separated by 6 years.
We are, yes.
We were just talking about how some people think we look exactly alike. And as you can see, we don't. But and some people think that we look nothing alike, and we are just friends. And not sisters.
Yes.
So you be the judge, but whatever the case, we're just so happy that you've chosen to join us. We have so many announcements, so many fun things that are happening this week and going forth, and a really cool interview coming up with the strongest man here at the church, or one of the strongest men.
Yes.
You will meet him soon, but first we're going to share some announcements. We have baptism celebration it's slated for next for August 14. If you have interest in being baptized or wish to recommit your life to Jesus through rebaptism, we would love for you to join the celebration set this summer. You're going to need to email info@ygchurch.com for more information, and we will be showing a promotional video next week.
Also, coming up in August, virtual men's conference. We will be the host site for the Right Now Media Men's Conference, an evening strategically designed to equip men through the teaching of God's Word. So it's going to be an amazing evening. Come here. It's there's going to be highly respected speakers, such as Scott Drew, Joby Martin, Larry Osborne, and Duran Gray. Tickets are $20. They're available online. To register, see the link on Arlington Life Online.
Yes, and we have also consolidated our online children's Sabbath school.
Yes.
So it's just one Zoom Sabbath school class for the children online. Of course, we have in-person Sabbath schools ranging from 0 all the way through high school, starting at 10:15. But if you're going to be joining us online, there is one Zoom link. You will need to log into to the church website, or you can get more information on Arlington Life Online, which is a great segue.
Yes,
right?
So talking about Arlington Life Online, if you are in our church database, you should be receiving our weekly Arlington Life Online. This is our newsletter that contains all the goings-on at the Arlington Church, and it includes updates on the ongoing sanctuary renovation, as well as the always entertaining Just for Fun section.
Yes.
So if you don't receive it, then go to arlingtonadventist.com, scroll down to online resources, and you will find a place to subscribe and link to the latest issue.
Yes, and we use it a lot to just communicate anything that's going on. So if you're not getting this newsletter, super important, go ahead and do what?
Go and subscribe. It's great.
Yes, and we put a lot of time and effort into it.
It has
there's
everything
a section
on
for
there.
everything, fun things that our Mindy provides, and then every section there's a Revive section, there's a UG section, there's all sorts of new happenings. So if you don't have this, we need you to go out and get it. If you have any questions, you can always call the church office. But however you need to, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to this.
Also, have you seen our YouTube channel? It is amazing.
It's awesome.
Yes, you'll find devotionals, videos, sermons,
all our Arlington Life Live.
Yes, all of the episodes now.
Well,
all the episodes
May.
starting from May.
But Tom is working
on it. Yes, he is.
He's working on getting all of them in and uploaded so that you can see them.
Yes, so go to Arlington Adventist. You can find it on YouTube, Arlington Adventist, and make sure you subscribe. So talk to me about Revive. How's it going?
Oh, well, it's going well. So downstairs is almost done. Once we're finished putting in new lights and just getting everything just right, we're going to have a huge opening day. So that's going to be, the date for that will be announced hopefully soon. But we're having a great time down there. This week we got to host the National Guard, which was so interesting to come to
awesome.
the church and have all these National Guardsmen there. But ready to have a mobile food pantry. So we kind of partnered. We have a partnership with the Tarrant Area Food Bank, and we
Yes.
kind of partnered with them. And so we'll have food pantry this week, but then next week the National Guard will come out and do a mobile food pantry. It's just a great way to continually every week give food to the needy. This will
Yes.
go through all through August, which is an important month. A lot of kids are going back to school, so parents need extra support. So this is going to be great. Of
It's
course,
so
our,
exciting.
Yeah, our food pantry is open as normal. We're giving a lot of food out.
How much food did you guys give?
So this last pantry, we gave over 9,000 pounds of food, and then also I think we served about 200 families. We're seeing anywhere from 200 to 250 families, which is just crazy to me because we started out with just 60 families before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, it has grown, and the need is great. If you have a family that you know that's needing some extra food, just let us know. They can go online and enroll. They can go to revivecommunitycare.com and enroll. It's a really easy 1.5 minute application that they fill out, and then they can come. We'll have them in our system. There's really no shame in it. We have a good time passing out food. No one's going to be, we're not investigating anything. You just come down, you get your free food, and
Yes.
you have a great time with it.
Yes.
We love to see what people make with the food. Sometimes we get pictures of, hey, this is what I made with these groceries.
That's awesome.
So that's really cool. Applesauce, salsa has been made, just different things. So
That's so cool.
yeah, super exciting. Of course, Revive Restored is open. It's by appointment, so you can also go to revivecommunitycare.com and just click on Revive Restored, and you'll see how to make an appointment right there. A lot of things are happening. I encourage you guys to pray about Revive and over the space God has given us,
Yes.
so we can do things in there for God's kingdom, for His coming and His glory. Speaking of different ministries under Revive, so you are part of the homeless ministry team, right?
Yes, I am, and it's
There's something going on. It's coming up.
Woo! This Friday, the homeless ministry, we're getting together and we are making food for the Samaritan's house. Now, we're not able to go in there. We just have to drop the food off. But, we're going to make mac and cheese, chicken, green beans. And so if you'd like to make a meal, just sign up online and under homeless ministries, revivecommunitycare.com.
and
Go
just
there
click on-
and you can sign up to be a part. We would love for you to come out. So
Yeah, so
I'm so excited about it.
absolutely. So they're going to make a meal, and then we'll deliver it. And then hopefully we haven't been able to serve it yet because of COVID, but
Yes.
hopefully in the next couple of months we can
We'll be
actually
able
serve it
to.
as well. So we will need a team to make it, and we'll need a team to serve it.
Yeah.
So a lot of just fun, good things happening with Revive. The community is just being blessed by this church and the members, and it's so great to see.
Yes. I was going to ask you, is there things that you need for Revive?
Oh, yeah.
still?
Okay, so diapers are like a plus. Like every week we get diapers and we give them away. I mean, everybody wants diapers, so that's such a great thing to give. Also, rice, sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't. So rice is like right now is what I never can seem to find. So if you want to donate rice, that would be great. Any canned goods, any food, we will take. We are not picky. So
Where do they drop everything off?
so you can drop it off during business hours any day at the church office, or we have donation Tuesdays, which will happen this week from 10 to 2. You can just come on by and we'll actually be outside, and it's easier to drop it off. You
Okay.
can always drop it off in the front of the foyer on Sabbath as well. But yes, that sounds all good. And I'm going to wrap this up because we want to have time for the strongest man in our church. We are interviewing Eliel Rodriguez next after this video. All right, we're back with the strongest man in our church, and I'll tell you why he's the strongest man in our church in a second. But this is Eliel Rodriguez. I have the privilege to interview him today, and off camera we were talking, and we found out some things that we have in common, such as you are my Puerto Rican brother.
That's right.
That's right. So, and we...
Word of the day?
The word of the day is?
Huepa.
Huepa. What does that mean, Eliel?
I think it means yeehaw equivalent, sort of.
I feel like you should really say yeehaw the way Texans say it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on.
I'm just kidding.
We'll be kicked out of the church now.
Just kidding. No, so we were having a great time. So we are Puerto Rican brothers here, brothers and sisters here. So we're just having a great time. But Eliel, you are a member of the Arlington church. And just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
Okay, so I'm sure you guys have seen us around. So married to my wife, Heather.
Yes.
She's actually directing right now, so hey, babes. And we've been doing this for a while now. I grew up, in the church, and my family always kind of volunteered. It's something that we just had to do. It's like almost like a boat or like a race team.
Yes.
Everything runs perfectly when people are volunteering. So we've been doing it for a while, but being socially awkward like I am, Ryan keeps me behind the light controls.
Okay.
So, yes.
So, so let's skip to that real quick and just keep them riveted in why you're the strongest man. And before that, tell us, do you have any children?
No, we have a lot of dogs. We have 4 dogs, 2 snakes, and a lovebird that I care for very dearly.
Okay, a lovebird. We are finding all sorts of things about you.
Yeah, I'm very interesting.
So you were talking about you are here doing lights, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us how you got into that. What's the story behind there? It's like, are you just turning on a light, or what does that entail?
Okay, so all right, so this is the deal with the lights. Okay, the way it started out was I used to do lyrics and things. And I'm not very good at all this stuff, but you don't have to be very good to volunteer. No. That's a great thing about it. So I think it was Ryan was asking me, like, hey, we need people for lights because we don't have a lot of folks being able to do it. And it's a little bit specialized and, kind of technical, so why don't you give it a shot? And I started training with Joanna, and, over time, you just kind of get better at it. I say better because if, you're listening to Amazing Grace, everybody's singing, and you see the lights flashing very oddly, my apologies.
That's his fault.
Yeah, sometimes the buttons are weird, so.
Yeah.
But, and it's just been something, like I said, you get into it. Oh, my gosh.
How long have you been doing media ministry?
I have no idea. It's been a long time now. I'm sure somebody else has kept better record than I have. Okay. For me, it's like, I get the email, and it's like, it's time to go.
Okay.
It's always been that way. Like I said, it feels, I hate to say like a duty, but it's something that.
Yeah.
I'm not very much for just sitting at the, in the pews. Sometimes it feels better to for me, participate.
So you mentioned, you're married to Heather, and you've been doing the media ministry for quite some time. Mm-hmm. How did you, like, how did you even come to this church? Have you been a member of this church for a long time, or just
So I believe it's another thing I should probably keep better track of.
Yeah.
I believe a friend of had this. We were looking for a church to kind of go to several years ago, and a friend suggested Arlington Church, and I was like, Arlington Church? I've never heard of it, which is weird because I still live in Arlington. Apparently, when I drive up and down 20, I don't look left or right at the churches.
Nice. No.
But then we came in, and they're like, the YG, I think it just was had grown a bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is very different than any of the other services that they're really engaged. They want people to really participate. It's a really big deal for them. Like, you feel that coming in, like, you're not just there to sit. They want this to be an experience. They want you there, participating in everything. So
Right.
that kind of drew us in.
Okay.
And then when they're like, hey, you want to do lights? You end up doing all 3 services.
Yeah,
and there's
so
so many
you're there.
differences because you grew up in the church and you're like, oh my gosh, this is very nostalgic. I remember this from when I was a kid. So
Right.
I'm usually here
Do you feel like just being in media ministry, does that help like connect with others, or do you find that you've made a lot of friends because of this? Or
Yeah, I think that it opens up a different sort of, I don't want to say avenue, but it is one of those things where, so we have a very pretty diverse group.
Yeah.
I mean, we have folks like Heather and I are triathletes. Jason's really big into trains. Ryan does all sorts of things with media.
Yeah.
And we have pilots, skydivers, you name it. And if you have any interest in Godzilla, I'm your man. We'll talk hours about it.
Okay, that's
so
something
if you
else.
really, there's such a good group of folks.
Right.
And it's not just, I hate to say, it's not like a cookie cutter like you would.
Yeah.
Like you think of like, oh, church is everybody in this certain way. No,
Yes.
we're nerds. We're people who are active. We're also, it's a huge spectrum
It's
of
a
folks.
conglomeration. I know. That's why I stayed as well. I just, you start volunteering and then you start making all these connections. If you want to get connected, volunteer for anything.
Yeah, it's different. You get all
yeah.
the part of the church you don't usually get from, and I hate to say it's not that coming in is important, but
Yeah.
you do get a different dimension of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we have groups. I mean, we talk about anything. So
Yeah. So you mentioned triathlete, and I think this is where. So you are pretty much the strongest man in church because you and your wife, who you say is your better half.
Oh, much better.
So he needs points for saying this, Heather. Your better half and you.
Yeah.
You participated in doing the Ironman, and you went all the way through and completed it to the end. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Well, first of all, what is the Ironman for people like me?
So it's a triathlon. It's
Okay.
a very long triathlon.
Okay.
It's a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a full marathon at the end that you attempt to run. I shuffled it more than I did run, but
Okay.
we got it done.
Do you have to do it at a certain time?
Yeah, you have 17 hours to do it. And there's another one, it depends, because my wife did Chattanooga, and I believe you have a little bit less time for that one.
Okay.
And it's a little bit longer, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're in different states and different cities. And the really big one is in Hawaii, which you have to qualify for, which.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Where did you do yours?
So this is our third one.
Okay.
I did mine in Boulder.
Oh, third one.
Heather and
Okay.
I did one in Lake Placid, and then this last one was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Beautiful.
So do you have to so the 17 hours is all in one day?
Yes. Yeah. So.
And that is why he is the strongest man of our church.
And I'm
That
not
is
super fast, so I get my money's worth.
okay.
From it.
Okay.
So.
Wow. So what got you interested in doing something like this?
So kind of a quick background. I'm a type 2 diabetic.
Okay.
So, and a few years ago, my wife is more active. She does the running. She did gymnastics in high school and everything. And I just enjoy the couch a lot and food. So those two things are not the best mix. But she started doing it. And I did a short triathlon at first, and I think it took me like an hour to do the swim, which is terrible. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. But she did her first Ironman, and I ended up talking with all sorts of people out there. And that's what's so weird about the community. It is so supportive, and they kind of drag you in. It's the weirdest thing, because you're like, I'll never do this.
I'll never do this.
But they're like, you can probably do this, man. Like, just give it a little bit, give it a
Yeah.
shot. You can do this, and it just takes some training. And by the end of the day, I'm like, I really want to do one of these against my better judgment. And so I started, and that's...
Okay, so for people like me who have never done a marathon, I mean, I know I look like I've done marathons, but I haven't.
Gotcha.
So for people like me that would like to do a marathon one day or something like this, what are some tips
Okay.
that you should or should not do? Give
Okay.
me like one good tip.
Tips. One thing is to kind of start small. I think
Okay.
everybody wants to hit something large like an Ironman, but there's plenty of small 5Ks, small sprint triathlons you can start.
Okay.
There are groups that you can join. There are different tri clubs, like I'm part of the Fort Worth Tri Club, and those folks. You have everything from elite to newbies, and it's just good overall support. And then if you ever decide to do a race anywhere, don't take my wife because she has the weird thing about she brings hot weather everywhere she goes.
Okay.
And all of our races have been unseasonably warm by a very large margin, by about 20 to 25 degrees.
Oh no.
So,
okay.
yeah.
So we talked a little bit about your wife off screen, and found out that I went to school with Heather. She's an awesome person, and
I think so.
I know I think you
She's
think
all
so
right.
too. But so how does that work when you and your wife are training to do something together? Do you think that like makes you stronger, or do you fight a lot, or you probably shouldn't say that
She's
on
got
camera.
the weird questions. No, which is good. I think we've got, my sunglasses, sorry. Really, I think we've pretty well adapted to it. When you both have kind of the same interests, it's, it's understanding. Like most of our training, she wakes up super early. She's more of the morning person. So she's on the bike at like 5 or 6 a.m. After she's done. And I just wave at her. I'm like, hey, babes, I'm making biscuits for breakfast. Then it's my turn. And you just kind of swap back and forth.
Yeah.
But you get to also take part in something that's really important and really big that a lot of other folks don't always get to. So you got that going for you. I don't think it's really too bad. Although some days I'm like, I think I saw Heather, possibly.
Maybe. So do you think it makes your marriage stronger as a couple when you do something like this together?
I think it kind of does.
Yeah.
And
How long have you been married?
16 years.
Okay.
I hope I got that right. Yes, it keeps going back and forth, 16 years. But then she's like, no, we've been married for 17 years. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I'm doing the math here. I'm an engineer, but I've been wrong before.
Okay, so you're also an engineer. All right.
Well, I've got a billion hobbies too, which is
Okay.
terrible and drives her nuts.
Okay, well, very good. Man, we could have this interview all day, but I'm so glad that we had a chance to just interview you, kind of tell the folk out there, who you are and kind of what some of your hobbies, some things, so that we can get to know the people of this church a little bit better.
Oh my
Do you
gosh.
have anything else? that
Oh
you'd
my
like
gosh,
to
yeah. Okay, so
share?
I'm working on my flying license after like a 15-year hiatus. Hoping to finish that off.
Okay.
I also skydive. I'm into photography. Oh man, name it. I'm into it a lot. I'm a huge Formula One fan. Go McLaren.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm trying to think of something else that I know is probably really important. I'm going to kick myself later. Oh yeah, like I said, really low quality, low budget movies. I love with a passion.
Okay.
So if it's in black and white, has sci-fi, and a guy in a giant gorilla costume, I'm 100% on board. It is terrible, and like Heather runs away when she sees me watching TV.
Oh my goodness.
You can tell like who's been on Amazon Prime or Netflix
It's okay.
based on what's on there.
Well, see, and you would have never know that if we hadn't done this interview.
Come join the media group.
So-
We'll learn more.
So and that's your most important hobby, I think you
Oh
would
yeah,
say,
of
right?
course. Yeah, I don't ever say no to this. When we get that email, I'm like, I got to be there.
You got to
Sabbath
be
morning.
there. So I'm so glad we got a chance to interview you. Maybe we'll get to interview your wife one day.
I'll convince
but
her.
Just excited to interview you and talk to you today. And I would just pray that you guys stay tuned and keep watching because YG is going to be next. And if you are in person, you can go to Sabbath School. Sabbath School start at 10:15. But of course, YG, if you're going to be online, I ask that you be online with us. You won't regret it. And I'm going to sign off here. Thank you so much for watching Arlington Live. See you later. Happy Sabbath.